You may be sitting here today carrying pain from betrayal, rejection, failure, or loss. And you're wondering, why me? Why this storm? But I came to tell you something straight from heaven. God didn't let that pain come to destroy you. He allowed it so He could display His glory through you. That trial, it's just the setup. That heartbreak, just the beginning. Because what the enemy meant for harm, God is getting ready to turn into honor. Your private pain is about to become your public praise. I don't care how dark it looks right now. When God is in it, pain becomes purpose, wounds become wisdom, and tears become testimony. So don't bury your story. God is about to use it to raise you up in front of the very people who counted you out. Pain is a part of life, but it doesn't mean God is angry with you. It doesn't mean He's forgotten you or turned His back on you. Sometimes we think, if God loves me, why am I going through this? But the truth is, pain is not always a punishment. Often, it's a process where God is stretching you, growing you, and preparing you for something greater. Think about how gold is refined. It has to go through the fire. That fire doesn't destroy it. It purifies it. In the same way, your pain is not there to destroy you. God is using it to prepare you, to purify you, and to shape you into the person you were meant to be. You may not see it right now, but later you'll look back and say, God, I didn't like it, I didn't understand it, but now I see why you allowed it. Because on the other side of pain is strength, wisdom, and purpose. Pain is part of the process. God is not punishing you, He's positioning you. Sometimes when we're hurting, it feels like no one understands. We smile on the outside, but deep down we're struggling. Maybe you've cried yourself to sleep or walked through something so heavy you couldn't even explain it. But I want to remind you today, God sees it all. He sees the tears you don't talk about. He hears the prayers you whisper in the dark. You are not alone, and you are not invisible to Him. Even when people don't notice, God notices. Even when others forget what you've been through, God remembers every detail. He's not ignoring your pain. He's working in it. He's close to the brokenhearted. He's near when you feel far. Just because you can't see Him moving doesn't mean He's not. God is behind the scenes, arranging things in your favor, bringing the right people, opening the right doors, and healing you in ways you can't even imagine yet. So don't give up. God sees you, and He's not done with your story. Have you ever asked yourself, why did I have to go through this? Maybe you've faced deep rejection, betrayal, loss, or failure. You've prayed, you've cried, and you still wonder why the pain had to be part of your journey. But I want to tell you today, there is purpose in your pain. What you went through was not wasted. It wasn't random. God is not a careless God. Everything you faced has meaning. It may not make sense now, but one day you'll see how every painful moment was part of a bigger plan. Pain is not just something we survive. It's something God uses to shape us. That heartbreak didn't come to destroy you. It came to deepen you. That rejection wasn't to tear you down. It was to shift your direction. Sometimes we can't see it in the moment because all we feel is the weight, the tears, the silence, the questions. But in those moments, God is doing some of His deepest work. Look at how a tree grows. The roots don't grow deeper in sunshine. They grow deeper in the rain. In the same way, our souls grow stronger through the struggle. That pain you faced is developing compassion in you. It's giving you wisdom, strength, and faith that can't be shaken. You're learning to trust God, not just in the good times, but in the valley, in the fire, in the silence. That kind of faith can't be taught in a classroom. It's developed in the battle. Think about people who inspire us. Most of them didn't get there because life was easy. They walked through things, storms, pain, disappointments, but instead of getting bitter, they let God use it. And that's the key. You don't have to understand it all to trust that God is working in it. You just have to surrender and say, God, I don't get it, but I trust you. There's a purpose behind every delay, every disappointment, every tear. You may feel like your pain is the end of your story, but it's actually the beginning of your testimony. God is going to use it. The same area where you hurt the most is where He's going to shine the most. He'll turn your pain into a platform. You're going to help others who are going through what you survived. Your voice will carry weight because you've lived it. So don't let your pain make you feel defeated. Let it remind you that you are being prepared for something greater. Don't hide your scars. They are proof that God heals. Don't bury your story. God will use it to bring hope to someone else. Your pain has a purpose, and that purpose is bigger than you. God is going to get the glory out of your story, and you're going to come out stronger, wiser, and ready to praise Him in public for what He brought you through in private. Sometimes in life, we go through things that shake us to the core, moments that leave us wondering, why did this have to happen to me? Maybe it was a painful loss, a betrayal you never saw coming, a dream that fell apart, or a season of deep loneliness. You may have felt like everything was crumbling around you. You prayed, you waited, and you still ended up with tears on your pillow. But let me speak this over your heart today. There is purpose in your pain. What you've walked through is not meaningless. God never wastes pain. If He allowed it, He will use it. It's hard to understand when you're in it. In fact, while you're hurting, it's almost impossible to see the bigger picture. You don't feel purpose, you feel pain. You don't feel progress, you feel stuck. But God is not absent in those moments. He's present in a deeper way. He's not punishing you, He's preparing you. Every tear, every sleepless night, every silent cry is being gathered by God. He is a God who uses everything, even your most painful experiences, for His divine plan. You see, when God has something great planned for your life, He often allows you to go through a season of crushing. Think about an olive. It has to be pressed to release oil. Grapes must be crushed to make wine. Diamonds are formed under pressure. In gold, it has to go through fire. If the olive, the grape, the diamond, or the gold could speak, they'd probably say, "This is too much, I'm breaking." But we know that the crushing is where the value is released. It's the same with you, that pain you're going through. It's not destroying you, it's producing something powerful in you. Your pain is shaping your character. It's teaching you endurance. It's building compassion in you. You'll look back one day and realize that the pain taught you more than the victories ever did. It taught you how to pray. It taught you how to trust. It taught you how to stand when all you wanted to do was fall. You grew through what you went through. And that's the thing. God doesn't just want you to go through the pain. He wants you to grow through the pain. He's not looking to leave you broken. He's building you. He's developing something in you that can't be developed in comfort. There are lessons that only the fire can teach. There is strength that only struggle can build. And there is faith that only hard seasons can awaken. Look at the people in life who carry the most wisdom, the most kindness, the most grace. More often than not, they've been through something. Their strength was forged in fire. Their smiles were born in storms. Their words carry weight because they've lived through the very thing they now speak hope into. That can be you. What you're going through isn't just for you. It's so that one day, when someone else is walking through their storm, you can say, "I've been there, I survived, and you will too." God is writing a story through your life. And just like in every great story, there are chapters that are hard, chapters that don't make sense, chapters where the hero looks like they've lost. But that's not the end of the book. Your story isn't over. The pain you're facing is a chapter. It's not your whole identity. Don't close the book early. Don't let pain stop your purpose. Instead, ask God, what are you teaching me in this? What are you building in me through this? Because when you come out of it, and you will come out of it, you're going to be stronger, wiser, more compassionate, and more aligned with your purpose than ever before. Your pain will make sense in the light of what it produces. So hold on, keep the faith, wipe your tears, but don't silence your hope, because there is purpose in your pain, and God is turning that pain into power. One day you'll praise Him not just because He brought you out, but because of what He built in you while you were still in it. There's something powerful that happens when we begin to see our pain through God's eyes. When we stop seeing it as a sign of weakness or failure and start recognizing it as something God can use. One of the greatest truths you can ever understand is this: your pain does not disqualify you, it qualifies you. The very thing you thought would take you out is the thing God will use to lift you up. The hurt that tried to break you will become the reason people listen when you speak. Your pain is making you relatable, making you real, and most of all, it's making you useful in the hands of God. Think about it. God doesn't use the most polished, perfect people. He uses those who've been through some things, people who've cried and still kept believing, people who were rejected but didn't give up, people who were knocked down and still stood up again. Why? Because that kind of person has depth. That kind of person has compassion. That kind of person doesn't speak from theory, they speak from experience. When someone tells you they understand what you're going through, it's comforting. But when someone tells you, I've been there, that's powerful. There's a weight to their words. You lean in a little closer because you know they're not just talking, they've lived it. And that's what God is doing with you. He's letting your pain become your qualification. You're gaining authority in an area because you've been tested in it. You're gaining spiritual weight in a place where you once felt weak. You see, the world might celebrate people based on their appearance, talent, or platform, but God celebrates people based on their endurance, their faithfulness in hard times, their ability to keep moving forward even when life didn't go the way they planned. That's who God promotes. That's who He lifts up. And when God lifts you, no one can push you down. Your pain is not proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're being prepared. Prepared for something greater than you imagine. Prepared for a purpose bigger than your comfort. Prepared to stand in places you once only dreamed of. And when you do, it won't be because of your talent alone. It'll be because you were faithful through the trial. Look at Joseph in the Bible. Before he got to the palace, he went through the pit and the prison. He was lied about, forgotten, and mistreated. But each step of that journey wasn't wasted. It was building something in him. It was building wisdom. It was shaping his character. It was developing the kind of heart that could handle the responsibility of the position God had for him. And in the same way, what you're going through now is not in vain. It's building you for something that you may not see yet. But God already has planned. God doesn't skip the process. He doesn't fast forward through the pain. He walks with us through it. And in that journey, He's making us into who we're truly called to be. Your pain is giving you a voice that can reach people others can't. It's giving you insight, compassion, and a heart that reflects God's love in a real way. Some of the most powerful ministry doesn't happen on a stage. It happens in conversations, in quiet moments, when someone sees your scars and finds hope for their own. So the next time you start to wonder why you went through what you did, remind yourself, this pain is part of my preparation. This pain is qualifying me for something greater. I may not see it now, but God is working. And not only is He working, He's going to use me, not in spite of my pain, but because of it. Don't be ashamed of where you've been. Don't hide your story. The things you thought would hold you back are the very things God is going to use to open doors. You're not less because of your pain. You're more. You've gained wisdom. You've gained strength. You've gained a testimony. And God is getting ready to turn your pain into a platform, your test into a testimony, and your scars into signs of His grace. You are not broken beyond use. You are not damaged goods. You are being refined, reshaped, and requalified by the very things that tried to defeat you. And when God is done, the same people who watched you suffer will see you shine. Because your pain is not your ending. It's your launching pad. And what God is about to do through you will be so powerful, everyone will know. Only God could turn that kind of pain into that kind of praise. Sometimes we feel like our lives have to be perfect for God to use us. We think we need to have it all together, look strong, and hide the parts of our story that are messy or painful. But that's not how God works. In fact, it's often the broken places in our lives that He chooses to use the most. God uses brokenness to show His power. He doesn't need you to be flawless. He needs you to be willing. Think about this: when everything is going well, people might be impressed by your talent, your looks, or your success. But when someone sees you still standing after heartbreak, when they see you smiling after you've walked through depression, when they see your faith alive, even after the storm you faced, that's when they see God. That's when His power is revealed. Because it's not your strength that's keeping you up, it's His. If you were never weak, how would you know that He is strong? If you were never broken, how would you experience His healing? If you never went through anything hard, how could you ever relate to someone else who's struggling? See, the beauty of God is that He steps into our brokenness and shines through it. He doesn't just fix what's broken, He makes it meaningful. Look at a cracked vessel. By itself, it may not seem valuable anymore. But when light shines through it, those cracks allow the light to pass through in ways a perfect vessel never could. That's what God does with you. Your cracks don't disqualify you. They become the places where His glory shines the brightest. People don't need to see perfection. They need to see real stories of how God carried someone through the storm. Even Jesus, when He rose from the dead, didn't erase His scars. He showed them. Why? Because the scars told the story. The scars were proof of the pain He endured, but also proof of the victory He achieved. And that's what your scars are too. They're not shameful. They're powerful. They're evidence that you've been through something, but you're still here. You survived. You healed. And you didn't do it alone. God brought you through. So don't hide your wounds. Don't cover up your past. Don't be afraid to tell people what you've overcome. God didn't bring you through the fire for you to stay silent. He allowed that season because He knew it would become a platform, a testimony, a declaration that says, if God did it for me, He can do it for you too. We live in a world full of filters, where people pretend everything is okay. But what people are really searching for is authenticity. They want to hear from someone who's been through the valley and came out with victory. They want to know that they're not alone in their pain. And when you allow God to use your brokenness, your life becomes a light to others walking through darkness. The Apostle Paul said in 2 Corinthians, "My strength is made perfect in weakness." That means the weaker you are, the more room there is for God to show up strong. That means you don't have to fake it. You don't have to impress people. You just have to trust God to use all of you. Not just the polished part, not just the wins, but the scars, the tears, the late nights, the moments you wanted to give up. So the next time you feel like your story disqualifies you, remember, your brokenness is not a barrier to God's power. It's the doorway. It's the very thing that makes you effective. It's what gives your voice authority and your testimony impact. God uses broken vessels, because when He does, everyone knows it's not about the vessel. It's about the glory of the one working through it. Your brokenness is not your identity. It's your testimony. And the more you let go into those places, the more you'll see Him move. He will take the pieces of your life, the shattered moments, and build something beautiful, not just for you, but for others too. Because your healing will become someone else's hope. Your breakthrough will be someone else's reminder that God is still in control. So don't be ashamed. Lift your head. You're not broken beyond use. You're exactly the kind of person God uses to do mighty things. And when He does it, everyone will know it wasn't your strength. It was His power shining through your brokenness, making the impossible possible. There are moments in life when we feel like everything is falling apart. You try to do what's right. You pray. You wait. But nothing seems to change. Doors are closing. People are walking away. And you feel like the more you try to move forward, the more resistance you face. In these seasons, it's easy to think, God, where are you? Why is this happening? But what we often don't realize is that sometimes God removes certain things, not to punish us, but to protect and prepare us. He takes away not to hurt you, but to make room for something greater. When God starts removing people, relationships, opportunities, or even comfort zones from your life, it may feel like loss, but in reality, it's divine alignment. You may not understand it right now, but God sees what you can't see. He knows the hearts of people. He knows where that path would have taken you. He knows what's coming ahead. And because He loves you, He will allow things to shift, even if it feels uncomfortable. He's not trying to destroy you. He's getting you into position. We often pray, God, use me, but we forget that being used by God means being molded by God. And molding is not always pleasant. It means being stretched, shaped, and yes, sometimes separated. God will separate you from people who were never meant to go where you're going. He will close doors that look good, but would have kept you stuck. He will allow discomfort so that you don't settle in a place He never intended for you to stay. Think about the story of Abraham. God told him to leave his family, his country, and everything familiar to go to a land that He would show him. God didn't even give him all the details. He just said, go. And Abraham obeyed. Why? Because sometimes obedience requires movement before understanding. You don't always get clarity first. You get a calling. And when you answer that call,
God begins to reveal the purpose behind the process. The same applies to you. When God starts shifting things in your life, don't resist the change. Don't fight to hold on to what He's trying to move you away from. It may feel like loss, but it's actually growth. It may feel like the end, but it's really the beginning of something greater. God can't elevate you while you're still attached to things that are weighing you down. Sometimes He has to strip away so He can build up. Let's be honest, it's hard to let go. We hold on to relationships because of memories. We stay in places because they feel safe. We chase dreams that God may have already told us to release. But obedience requires trust. You have to trust that if God is removing something, He has something better. If He's allowing a door to close, it's because He's getting ready to open one that no man can shut. What looks like rejection may be redirection. What feels like a breakdown may be a setup for your breakthrough. It's like a gardener pruning a tree. When you see branches being cut off, it may look harsh, but the gardener knows that pruning is necessary for healthy growth. The same way, God prunes your life, not to harm you, but to prepare you for greater fruitfulness. He's making room in your life for what He's about to do. The people who left, the job that ended, the opportunity that passed, none of it was a surprise to God. And if He allowed it, it's because He has a plan that's still unfolding. So instead of asking, why did this happen? Begin to ask, God, what are you preparing me for? Because He's doing something behind the scenes. He's not finished with you. He's orchestrating something greater than what you lost. Don't be afraid of what's being removed. Be excited about what's on the way. You might have to walk away from familiar, but you're walking into favor. You might have to let go of what was, but you're stepping into what is. And what's next? God is clearing the path. He's breaking off what no longer serves you. He's refining your focus, strengthening your faith, and positioning you for His best. And when it all comes together, you'll realize that what felt like a painful removal was really a divine rescue. What felt like an ending was the beginning of a powerful new chapter. So trust Him in the shifting. Trust Him in the silence. Trust Him when it doesn't make sense. Because the God who allows the removal is the same God who brings the reward. And when it comes, you'll praise Him not just for what He gave, but for what He took away. As you stand in the middle of your pain, as you walk through the fire of disappointment, loss, betrayal, or heartbreak, I want you to know deep in your soul, God is not done with you. He has not forgotten you. He has not left you behind. What looks like the end is not the end. It is a setup for something greater, something more powerful, something divine. The pain you're feeling today, it's not in vain. God is doing something sacred in the secret places of your life. What you think is breaking you is actually building you. What feels like the valley of defeat is the place where God is forming your victory. You might not see it, but He's working. He's preparing the stage. He's arranging the pieces. He's strengthening you where you feel weak. He's stretching your faith so that you can carry what He's about to release into your life. You're not being buried. You're being planted. And when a seed is planted, it's hidden, it's covered, it's in the dark. But under that soil, something is happening. Something is breaking. Roots are growing. Strength is being developed. And in due time, what was hidden will rise. That seed will burst forth and produce fruit. And not just for you, but for everyone around you. That's what God is doing with your life. Your pain is producing something that will bless others. Your story is becoming someone else's survival guide. Your tears are watering the soil of the miracle that is coming. And when it comes, it will be undeniable that God was with you the entire time. His fingerprints will be all over your breakthrough. People will look at you and say, that had to be God. And your life will be a testimony, a walking, breathing, living proof of God's faithfulness. So don't lose hope. Don't let the enemy convince you that your pain has no purpose. The enemy wants to silence your praise, steal your joy, and bury your purpose. But what he didn't realize is that the very thing he meant to use to destroy you, God is going to use to display His glory. You're not going to just survive this. You're going to rise with strength that only comes from heaven. You're going to rise with a voice that carries weight. You're going to rise with joy that doesn't come from the world, but from the Spirit of God living within you. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who shut the mouths of lions, who raised the dead, who opened prison doors. He is your God. He is with you. He is for you. And He is turning your pain into a public praise. You may have cried in private, but God is about to honor you in public. You may have fought silent battles, but a loud victory is coming. The promotion is coming. The healing is coming. The restoration is coming. And when it comes, it won't just bless you, it will glorify God. You were not created to stay broken. You were not called to live in the shadows of your past. You were made for purpose. You were chosen to shine. You were anointed to rise. Everything you've walked through has been preparing you for such a time as this. God is not going to waste a single moment of your journey. Every valley will point to His grace. Every scar will tell of His healing. Every setback will shout of His redemption. So lift your head, even if it's heavy. Stand tall, even if you feel weak. Speak life, even if your voice trembles. Because God is about to do something in your life that will leave you in awe. He's about to take your pain and turn it into praise. And when He does, let your life sing the song of His faithfulness. Let your testimony ring out like a trumpet, declaring to the world, look what the Lord has done. This is your time. This is your season, not to hide your hurt, but to rise from it. Not to be silent in sorrow, but to shout in victory. The pain tried to bury you, but praise will lift you, and all glory will belong to the God who brought you through.